Greetings. Welcome to the FaerySpeaks. This is a little video on explaining my process of reading fairy cards. Since I've emerged as a channel, I'll often do fairy readings to help people move them along their path. I use the Brian Fraud's Fairies cards. They have a nice book and a whole lot of nice fairy cards. I don't like this one. So, I wish to explain the process. I have a number of spiritual guides that travel with me. One of them's name is FaerySpeaks. See if I can get a close one of that. You know, part of the working with the oracle is that you draw your personal fairy, and that's FaerySpeaks. Travels with me most of the time. He likes to dangle his feet over the windshield when I'm driving in the car. So essentially what the process is that I'll have someone like yourself sitting across from me, and then I'll ask you for a question. And often they won't necessarily have a question. They might have a question that's more materialistic than along their spiritual path. So then what we'll do is we will shuffle the cards, and it really doesn't even matter if we shuffle them really well. It doesn't really matter all that much. But at any rate, any which way, it doesn't matter. And then I'll put the cards down, and the person sitting across from me will cut the deck at some point, and there we go. And then we will spread the cards out. Let's see how well we do. Spread them around on the table. Any which way, as long as it works. Depending on how cooperative the cards are today. So I wish you out there in the audience to think of a question, and to make things a little speedier, I will pick the cards for you with you in mind. So, have you thought of your question? Well, let's see where we're going to go now. So, we are going to pick 7 cards, and we will see on where they go. So, one. There's one hiding behind another card. We'll take that one. And this one. And there's another one hiding. Apparently it wants to be seen. We're 5, keeping track. Another one here that wishes to come out. And one more. Now pay particular attention to the orientation of the card. There's an upside down version and there's a right side up version. So, here are. Now I have created a cheat sheet that I have, and you probably can't see it very closely on the camera, but basically what it is I've gone through the card's meanings and I've created a cheat sheet. And this kind of, as I read the question in my head and I read the answer to the particular card, as it channels the intelligent energy through while reading it, I'm actually reading you. It's kind of weird. I don't know. Question everything here. Everything, including the news. So, well, let's start with the middle one. So the first one, oriented to you, this one here, and it is the fairies of the future. Number 33. Number 33, fairies of the future. Be here, now, guidance, moving forward. Well, that's interesting. That was the first card. Was that the first card we picked? It was the first card we picked. So, that's kind of interesting. Be here now, guidance and moving forward, which is kind of like keeping yourself centered, keeping yourself focused on what's going on around you, and then taking guidance and moving forward. So don't be looking forward all the time. You should be paying attention to where you are right now in the moment. But keep an eye towards the future and keep an eye on what direction you're going in. So let's go to the next card. Number 29. The Poets. Clear sight, poetry, erotic energy, laughter. Not getting into serious mischief. Well, how interesting is that? When you think about it with the card that we just read. Clear sight, looking forward as you stay in the moment. Erotic energy and laughter, and not getting into serious mischief. There you go. Well, what do you think about that? It's interesting, isn't it? Next card, number 24, the Piper. Also a vertical card. We only pulled 2 upside down cards this time around. And 4, the Piper. Music, harmony, order, seduction, and empathy. Music, order, harmony, seduction, and empathy. How curious! How much is that related to the card we read before that and the card we read before that? It's interesting how different all these cards are. We're picking cards that are similar. But before I go to this card over here, I'm going to go to this card over here. Let's just do the vertical cards first, just for the fun of it. Don't know why, but that's why. The Pook. This is the Pook. By the way, I don't know if I've been showing you these cards. So this is the Piper. Oh no. This is the Poet. This is the Piper. So the Pook, number 60, shape changer, good into bad, bad into good, paradox, and resolution. Shape changer. That's quite interesting when you think about it. Good into bad, bad into good. The paradox of resolution. It's a curious thing. Stay in your present. Let's see where we're at now. We had stay in your present. And 29 was clear sight, poetry, erotic energy, and laughter, and not getting into serious mischief. The Piper. Music, order, harmony, seduction, and empathy. And shape changer of changing good into bad and bad into good. It is so much of a paradox. Really what you want to do is weigh them both, good and bad, and see where it is, where they meet in the center. In the center is the first card we read was staying in the center and looking forward to the beginning. It's a very curious. Our next card, the Dark Lady. Dark Lady. Number 20. Unconscious power and wisdom, rituals and mysterious secrets. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Well, what do you think about that? And how do you think that relates to what's going on in your life? Now, just besides it says Dark Lady doesn't necessarily mean this is only for the women out there in the audience. It also applies to men because both men and women have equally amounts of masculine and feminine energy within them. So it is kind of a curious thing. Unconscious power and wisdom, mysteries and secrets. Very interesting indeed. So, let's go to this one. This one here was this card. Though it was actually upside down. Undressing of a salad. balance, avoiding extremes, achieving the impossible, being the impossible. That's in the vertical position. The vertical position, undressing of salad, balancing, avoid extremes, achieving the impossible, being the impossible. But this card was upside down. So in the reverse, are you certain you are going in the direction you are going? Pause and reconsider. Now this is rather curious. Don't you find this curious? I find it curious. Of all these cards that we picked, 7 cards, well, we've only read 6 of them, are very similar indeed about their direction. Of what's the direction in which you're traveling on your spiritual path or your emotional path or your physical path for that matter. They're all kind of all the same. They're all tied together. Imbalance occurs, confusion happens, and out of chaos can be miracles. Which kind of means stir the pot cautiously and see what happens. But not in extremes. You want to stay centered. You want to stay in the moment. And you want to be able to look forward to see where you're going. And reevaluate constantly. Well, not constantly, but daily. Maybe when you wake up in the morning. Pay attention to where you're going for the day and where things have gone. Before you go to sleep, think about where you've accomplished for the day, where things have gone, where things didn't go the way we wished. And then in the morning, give yourself a small plan. A small plan. Not a big plan. Not something that's unachievable. A small plan. Very interesting. So now the 7th card. 7th card is Unity. Very pretty card. The Unity card, which happened to be pulled upside down, and Unity is spiritual home, but the reverse is overly focused, alienated, unwanted, and lonely. If you tend to look at the way things are going in the world, out there in the ethers, lonely probably has a lot to do with it. So many people are isolated. So many people are looking at their smartphones and not paying attention to what's around them. Facebook, electronic media. Instead of paying attention to what's going on, like a cat running around frantically because they saw a squirrel running around outside. So that's the Unity card. Unity card would be more apt if you were at your spiritual home, you would have had it this way. But since it's upside down, it's overly focused, alienated, unwanted, and lonely. How much does that put for so many of us that we're isolating ourselves, particularly this crazy winter outside? How can you get excited about being around other people? So that's kind of curious. Those are our 7 cards. And generally speaking, what I would do during a reading is that I would actually, now that after we've read all these cards, I would actually ask you to draw another card. just to see on where it's gone to. So if you could help me pull another card. I know it's crazy because you're out there somewhere on the other end of this screen. But you'd be surprised what could happen. So think about what card you might think about wanting to pull. I don't think you're concentrating. Aha! I think you just mentioned this card right here. So, this card right here got pulled. Number 57. Oasis the Wild. Haste, impulsiveness, fire, spontaneity, and balance. But we actually pulled this one upside down. The upside down version is exhausted and burned out. Creative and energy. You need to find ways to rejuvenate yourself. Regenerate yourself. How about curiousness is that? Out of all these cards that we read, they're very similar in motion. You wish to stay centered, be aware of your surroundings, enjoy the moment, focus on the moment, but look forward to the future, and regenerate your energy, which means staying in touch with Mother Earth, Mother Nature. Spend a little time in nature somewhere. Don't surround yourself with block walls all the time. Even if it's just sitting on a park bench for 5 minutes, or any bench outside, a bus stop. Maybe sitting in your car with your windows open so you can hear nature. Yeah, car running, heat blaring, yeah, I get that part. But the window's open so you can hear nature. Watch some birds. Watch a squirrel. Look at this, cat's having a great time chasing after a squirrel. Oasis of the Wild. Pretty cool, eh? So that's... And just for the fun of it, you know what? I'm hearing to say, let's pull one more card just for the fun of it, because we're having fun. And I'm going to go after this one right here, because I've been looking at it all day. Well, look at that. Bodacious Bodak. Another interesting card. Again pulled in reverse. 59. Meddling, tampering, sabotage, and helpful fixing. But this one was upside down. So the reverse is reward that person in your life that does good when they usually get it right. And who you think that person is? Yourself. Most people don't reward themselves for doing good. They martyr themselves. They think that their object in life is to take care of others and put others before themselves. What do they tell you when you get on an airplane? You're sitting there and they're telling you how to buckle a seatbelt that you've been putting on your almost entire life. They tell you to put the mask on before you put it on your child or the person next to you. Take care of yourself first, and then others will follow with you. Well, I think we've covered a lot for this session. The fairies speak. Thank you for joining me. This is the FaerySpeak. I might be thinking of doing a show at CTSB. It's 30 minutes long. It will probably be multiple shows recorded on the same day. And if you wish to participate, you don't have to be on camera necessarily. Although maybe in picking the cards, but your back could be to the camera. And you don't have to have a mic. If you just want to participate in the studio for the makings of the show, we could do this, a number of these shows, for their entertainment and your friends' entertainment, the people that are watching CTSB public broadcasting. As for that, the FaerySpeak speaks to you.